Yo, Tim Desert Storm Bradley, you already know the rest. Yeah, good morning, my people. Good morning, my people. Hey, just want again, let me give a special thanks to all the new subscribers out there, man. All the people that keep coming back, watching the videos, man. I appreciate you guys, bro. Thank y'all, for real, man. I'm just here trying to give y'all the real, man. Yesterday, I dropped a story, one of my life stories yesterday, something that people don't really know, man. That's what you get here. Some people I know felt some type of way about it. Me driving intoxicated and stuff like that. Like, I'm sorry if somebody lost somebody, if someone being intoxicated driving. I just want to say that. But I was young, I was dumb, and you learn as you live, right? Life is the best teacher, right? And I'm fortunate to be here, and I keep saying that all over and over and over, man, that I'm not to you guys, but I just say it to myself that I'm fortunate to be where I'm at today, because again, I had angels looking out for me, man. I did some stuff in my life that, no, I don't regret it, because it's built me into who I am today. But I wish I never had done it. I don't regret it though, but it was a learning experience for me. So that's enough with that. But today is more so about just, I don't want to say open thoughts. It's just, a lot of you guys been asking about me doing longer videos and stuff like that, man. And I really don't have too much of a topics and stuff. I'll just talk about what pops on in my head. Things that I've been thinking about. First off, man, that whole Crawford incident, man, is still, fresh in my mind, man. And I'm scouring the internet for more information and stuff like that, man. And the security guard for Team Crawford spoke up. I heard his statement and stuff, and it's not aligning with the officers, man. One of the things that I could tell you about Crawford and his team is that they preach integrity, man. They do. I mean, you heard Shakur Stevenson, you heard his speech, about integrity. The one word that sticks out to him that he learned from, Crawford was integrity, man. And that's powerful, man. Seriously, that is powerful. If you don't know what integrity is, man, go research it, right? Go research it, learn about it, because not a lot of people have that integrity, man, and accountability comes along with integrity as well, right? Practicing what you preach, and doing what you preach, that's important. And so I believe I believe the security guard for Crawford, I believe his statement, basically what he was saying was that Crawford didn't have his information on him. So the officer was asking for it or whatever, and Crawford told him basically that, he didn't have it. It was at the house. And Crawford, in the state of Nebraska, if you're carrying, you gotta inform the officer that, hey, I got a pistol on me. I got a permit to carry. I got a pistol on me. And so Crawford did that, and then that's when things escalated. That's when the guns got pointed at him. And the officer said, "Don't reach." And Crawford's like, what am I reaching for? The officer is saying that he saw a pistol on the floorboard. He might have assumed he saw something, but he didn't see anything. The security guard was saying that nothing was showing. Nothing was showing. So, it's going to be interesting, man. They're also taking legal counsel now. A big investigation is going to go on, man. I don't know, man. I'm going to be optimistic and hope, something get done. Something needs to be done, because this is just not right at all. And it's not right for anybody. It's not safe for anybody, especially if you have any officer out there or officers out there that are trying to do wrong, by the community, man. And so with that being said, man, good luck to Crawford and his team, man. I hope they work things out. But yeah, man, I've gotten pulled over. Your boy got pulled over about 20 times, man, in my lifetime. For various reasons, man. Man, I'm telling you, when I was young, I got my license, man. I got pulled over the first 2 weeks for speeding, man. So my entanglements with the law enforcement, man, yo, the more you get pulled over, hey, you figure out how to get up out of these situations, bro, for real. You, man, I got experience, right? Experience. They always saying de-escalate the situation. Yep, I do. I know how to do that. I know how to talk to these officers, man. You know, and then of course I told you I had my dad, and he wasn't in law. I could say he could have been a police officer in law enforcement, but you know, he wanted to come home. You know what I'm saying? Every time you out there on that force, man, you liable not to come home. You know, security guard at the high school. You know, it's dangerous there too. But you know, it's more likely, you know, for you to get shot at or hurt when you're on the force like that, man. When you're a police officer. So, you know, my dad used to always tell me all the time, man. You know, how to talk to an officer, how to talk to authority. You know, and I thank my dad for that, man. You know, and he always used to tell me, man, you ain't got nothing to hide. You ain't got nothing to hide. You ain't done nothing wrong. You ain't nothing wrong. You got nothing to worry about. You know, that's just what it is, champ. So, you know, I thank my dad. Shout out to my father. He watches my videos and stuff like that. I love you, pops. I love you, moms. Anyways, yeah, I just had my little moment. I just had my little moment. You know what I'm talking about, you know? But anyways, yeah, man. Shoot, when I was younger, man, I got pulled over by the cops, man. I was probably about 18. Got pulled over, bro. I was speeding. You know, I was speeding to my lady's house. I'm not gonna lie, I was speeding to her house. You know what I mean? So I was driving it real quick. You know, I had to go see my woman before I go to the gym. Had my little bag in the back or whatever. And I hear them lights. Whoop, whoop. I'm like, oh, damn. Got me. Right? Get pulled over. I pulled over into a little, I don't want to say parking structure, but it was business area or whatever. Cop got out. He was angry. Ooh, he was angry. Man, why are you speeding? I'm like, man, I'm just trying to get to my get to my lady's house, and just, you know what I mean? Very disrespectful officer, whatnot, you know, and I just was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be amped up, cop, but I ain't say that. I just was thinking to myself, like, okay, let me de-escalate this, man. He's like, anybody in the car with you? No, sir, just me, you know? And my back windows were tinted real dark. So he looking in the back, you know, and he saw a bag back there. And I'm like, looking at him like, man, what you looking at, man? Like, you gonna give me a ticket or what, you know? And he's like, what's all these bags in the back? You know, I'm young. I ain't really know the laws or anything like that. I'm like, man, that's my equipment. You know, equipment for what? You know, he's like, sir, can you please step out the car? And I'm just like, oh, here we go. You know, this is my first time having to step outside the car. And I'm like, all right. I step up out of the car or whatever. And he asked me that question. Is it okay if I search your vehicle? I'm like, for what? And he goes, is it okay if I search your vehicle? I'm like, yeah, it's okay, right? I ain't know the laws, right? I said, long as I watch you, absolutely. Let me be right next to you, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. So, you know, he opens the back door. He goes through my bag and stuff. He sees that I have the boxing equipment, you know, like I told him. And, you know, then things start to change, right? And get alone, I ain't even give him my license. And we immediately started searching my car. No license, no nothing. See, that's how, you know, you can't be young and dumb, man. Like, for real. This is a lesson for all the youngins out there that's watching this channel, man. Like, man, you gotta know your laws, man. Know the laws in your state, know the laws in your city, man. For real. You know, I didn't know the laws. I was dumb. I had no clue. I know the laws now, right? Know your rights. Know your rights. That's important, to know your rights. Okay? So, with that being said, you know, he asked me for my ID or whatever. He saw that, you know, I lived, you know, in North Palm Springs, you know, and he told me that he knew that I lived in North Palm Springs. You know, I dressed a certain way. You know, I was raised up around a whole bunch of, you know, thugs and stuff like that. And I was like the style. I had the khaki pants and, you know, nice little button-up shirt and stuff like that. And I was like the style in the neighborhood, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was the culture, you know? That's just what we wore. So, you know, he profiled me, you know, and so after I had told him, you know, like, man, you know, I was like, hey, man, you know, I'm a boxer, you know, and he looked at my address and was like, man, don't nothing ever come good out of this place. And I was just like, man, I'm gonna be the first. I'm gonna be the first, you know. I'm like, hey, man, I'm a national champion. I was a national champion, you know. I'm gonna turn professional, and you know, and I'm just talking to him. His whole tone, his whole demeanor changed, man. You know, Bradley, you know, he know my uncles, and he knows my family and stuff. And I got a lot of uncles and stuff in and out of the system, you know. So, you know, these officers, man, they be putting these names together, and they just like, they start linking them together, you know, and thinking that, hey, I'm just like them. Nah, not at all, right? I'm gonna be successful. I told the cop, I'm like, man, I'm gonna be successful, you know. My dad, I said, you ever heard of Timothy Bradley Sr.? And he's like, oh, yeah, I know who your father is, you know what I mean? And then everything's smooth or whatever, and I didn't get a ticket, right? I ain't get no ticket. Dude searched my whip and everything, right? I sat there, watched him, and I'm right there like looking, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, this could have got crazy. This could have got real crazy, real fast, you know, but I ain't had nothing to hide, right? You know, and then you always hear, and you always got to be careful of some cop trying to plant something on you. But this was a moving violation, man, and it escalated to that. And I was able to squeeze my way past that, man, just being smart, man, you know. And again, having angels, man, just having my back, because this officer, man, he was reckless, man, reckless. And this was it was probably the second time I had got pulled over. The first time when I got pulled over, look, it wasn't nothing I can do. I was going 16 to 45. Yeah, I had a heavy foot. My foot was heavy, man. And so, you know, and I used to always like them little race cars and stuff, man. This was right around the time when Fast and the Furious came out. You know, Fast and the Furious was off the hinges. Man, everybody wanted one of them fast rice burners, bro. Run around, man. You know, man. But anyways, that was another altercation I had with the cops, man. But I'm always, back then and still now, I think I got pulled over not too long ago too. So, but I killed him with kindness. You know, I got off again. You know, I think there was like 3 times that I actually got tickets. You know, the rest of them, I was able to just squeeze my way, just with my demeanor, and squeeze my way through them tickets, man. You know, I mean, I even told a cop, man, like a motorcycle cop one time, I got pulled over. I'm like, damn, I'm glad you here. And he like, huh? I'm like, man, it's about time, man. It's about time. I said, I'm always speeding on this road, man. It sound crazy, right? And I'm like, but shoot, I'm glad you here, man, doing your job, man. I said, because there's a lot of people that go faster than I go. And he's just like, he looked at me, he's like, oh, I'll be right back with your license or whatever. And he came back, handed me my license, was like, hey, man, slow it down, okay? Slow it down. I made him laugh. I made his ass laugh, and he let me go with just a warning. Man, for real. You know? Look. You could be a celebrity, and I'm not, not asking for special treatment, bro. You know, not asking for special treatment. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's just what it is, you know? Yesterday, when I told you that story, man, these cops they showed me love, man. You know, they showed me love, man. It was like a kid, like if I was one of their kids, man. you know, and they made sure they talked to me. You know what I mean? They knew what was up, but they made sure they talked to me on that ride home. They made sure they talked to me, man, get in my mind and realize, like, hey, this could have went a different way, you know, but, you know, we respect you, respect your father, you know what I mean? And so, you know, that's why they gave me some little bit of grace, you know? So that's all I'm saying. This should have happened with T, man. You know, they said that T was speeding, and that Terrence Crawford was speeding, and he wasn't. If he was speeding or whatever, they didn't have him on the radar. You know, so it's his word against theirs, and I think that might have pissed him off too, pissed off the cops, and it's not right. You know what I mean? Because Crawford knew his rights. Crawford also said that he had a pistol on him, and that's the required in the state of Nebraska. So Crawford, I'm telling you, Crawford is sharp. He knows his rights. You know what I'm saying? He got people around him that know too. His security guard, he know too. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, I hope something come from this, man. I really do. I hope something come from this. I hope this guy get fired, laid off, something, man, without no pay. So he can realize, man, that he needs to make better choices, man. I'm not saying not protect yourself, man, you know, because even a simple traffic stop, you know, you liable to get killed in a simple traffic stop. You know, someone that just don't like cops, you know, but shit, when you ran those plates, you knew what you was dealing with. The registration come through with the name on there, you knew exactly who you was dealing with. Shoot, yeah, you dealing with the champ. The heart of Omaha. Shit. You know what type of character that dude bring. He just trying to have a good time. Going home or wherever the hell he was going. Anyways. So, yep, enough about that, man. Let's see what else popping in my head. Shoot, you know what? I was thinking about that Foster and cool boy, Steph. I was thinking about that, man. That's a tough one. Both these guys, man, look, they got similar attributes, man. It's crazy. Similar attributes. Similar styles, too. Both of them can switch. Shit, cool boy. Got a little bit more experience, I think, you know, at the professional level. You know, has fought some really good competition. Has learned, has gotten better, has grown, man. You know, I thought it was going to be difficult for him to return after that inner-weight fight, man, but you know, in this new weight class, he seems like he's filled out. He got a good team around him. You know he's up in Philly. He's with Bozy and them, and they come in dog shape, man. You know, and that mentality that they come to the ring, you know, eat. Look, man, I was one of the coldest, I don't want to say advice that I got from a civilian, just a normal person, man. You can learn from anybody. I tell you guys that. It don't matter. Is, you know, I was getting ready for a fight, and I was at this little birthday party. It wasn't no big party or nothing like it. It was a birthday party, and I forget what fight it was, but he told me, he said, Tim, you gotta eat these mother effers. Eat them. And when he looked at me like that, and he said it with that fierce, like, you gotta eat these motherfuckers. Eat them. Man, I knew what he meant by that, man. And that was my mentality. Eat this motherfucker. Eat them. Yeah. That was my mentality right there. From then on, eat them. Anybody you face, it don't matter who it is, the competition, we don't fight down to the level of your competition. No, you eat them, you destroy them, right? I'm like, man. So, Foster, cool boy, Steph, hey, whoever's hungry gonna win this fight. Eat them. You gotta eat the next guy. This can't be one of them like going back and forth, teaching that. No, eat them, right? That's what this gotta be about. Because look, man, Foster is talented like a mug, boy. That boy can box his butt off, bro. He boxes ass off. Wow. You know, So can cool boy Steph. He can box his ass off too. You know, yeah, he can box. Beautiful boxing, man. Outside, inside, you know, catch and shoot. Foster can do it all, man. The one thing that I see with Foster, man, is that he sometimes can be a spectator, man. And what I mean by that is like, you know, being a spectator in the boxing ring, man, it's like, I don't want to say it's autopilot, because you get to a point where, like, you get to, like, 8, 9, 10, and sometimes, like, the fight just feel blended. Like, the last round, it looked like the 7th round looked like the 8th round, now the 9th round, you know, you're kind of, like, going through the motions, you know. It's a weird feeling, man, being a spectator. You're a step behind. You're not really thinking. You're kind of just reacting at that point sometimes, some instances, you know. But yeah, it seems like he become a spectator, man. Like he kind of like loses track of the fight, you know, lose track of if he's winning or not. You know, he just kind of like going through the motions and, you know, playing it safe and, you know, being more defensive and not more offensive, responding to what's going on. And, you know, he get too comfortable becoming a spectator, man. You know, he can't afford to be that way against Steph. He can't. Steph, he got enough experience to know, oh, yeah, you trying to rest, or, you know what, you ain't really dialed in. Oh, I'm coming for your ass. Yeah, Steph will step on that gas, man. Yes. So it's going to be interesting to see, man. This fight going to get won. It's going to get won on the back end, man. In the beginning, both guys are sharp. It's going to be a chess match. But on the back end, whoever got that killer in them, that eat them, motherfucker. They gonna win the fight. That's the person that's gonna win the fight. The dog gonna bring that dog out. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, what else? I was thinking about this Haney and Norman Jr, man. I was thinking about that too this morning. And you know, both guys look like they training their butts off. Haney looked like he you know, that's one thing about Haney, man. That my boy get ready. Haney gets ready. Oh, I know Norman Jr. and his pops, man. His pop, they be pushing it, bro. You know, Norman Jr. You know, I ain't seen those chubby cheeks. Sharp. Norman Jr. looking sharp, and he's been looking sharp for months. This is a guy, again, that stand disciplined. See, one of the things about success, people, that a lot of people have a hard time with, man, is one, they have a hard time with having that boredom. You know, yeah, well, come with success, you get bored, man. Especially when you continue to win over and over and over and over. You gotta find ways to challenge yourself. You know, you hear Crawford right now, you know, who was in the biggest fight of his life against Canelo Alvarez, made it look easy. Now, you know, he looking for, you know, that next high, man. Now he gotta elevate that. That's what happens, man. You know, you looking for that first high. Y'all know what that first high is like. Some of y'all do. Hey, you ain't gonna never get that again. Man, see, look, man. When y'all look at people, man, sometimes, man, you judge them. You know, you judge them based on, you know, what you see right now. But bro, like, a lot of us, we go through a lot, man. We've been through a lot. We normal. You human, man. And that goes from any celebrity out there. You know, we go through things just like y'all go through things, man. You know, we know different. The only thing that's different is that we talented in whatever we do. We talented. But as far as everything else, it's all the same. Issues, kids, you know, problems, you know, that all that type of stuff, man. And so, but anyways, back to success, man. You gotta stay consistent. You gotta stay consistent, man. Discipline. Staying consistent, staying on the grind constantly, man. That can become monotonous and boring, right? Yeah. You gotta fight past that boring. You know, like a lot of people feel like, oh man, because I'm bored, you fell out of love. You know, you in a relationship, you bored. I don't know if I love her anymore. What? Man, come on, you've been 25, 30 years with the same person, bro. You're boredom. You get bored. It starts to feel like, oh, you know, ain't nothing there. No, it's something there. That's 30 years of building your life together, man. gathering everything you got, them beautiful kids you got, you know, building them up. You know, you just got to change your attention. That's just it. And you got to work at your marriage or your relationship. You just got to work at it, man. You know, back then you used to be romantic. Now you're not. You know, you got to be creative, right? You got to find that next high, right? See if you can get there again, right? That's what it's all about, man. Same thing with success, man. The more and more success you have, the more and more you got to challenge yourself and find ways to grow. You know, I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago, you know. But I do know who I am. I do have core values and things that you know, that are important to me, right? So treat people with respect, you know, staying grounded, you know, having integrity, you know, that's important for me. Being a man of my word, that's important to me, you know. Basically practice what I preach. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna tell you something that I ain't doing. You know, if I'm not gonna tell you something. If I'm drinking, I'm not gonna tell you not to drink. You know what I mean? I don't drink, but I'm not. Hey, it's up to you. You have your own life. But you know, and I stopped drinking. My last drink that I had was when I retired. That was the last drink I had, man. Yeah, on my retirement party. One thing about successful people, they are overly excessive, bro, in everything. They all either all the way in or all the way out, period. Pause. You know, they are, you know, adrenaline type of junkies, man. Constantly looking for that next high, man. So when I went out and retired and had my retirement party, yeah, I went out in the wheelchair. Shit, I went out in the wheelchair like I fought Manny Pacquiao. Shit. Man, it's crazy, man. But that was the last time I had a drink, man. You know, my wife's father, you know, had a heart transplant. You know, he used to sip all the time, you know, on the weekends and stuff like that. You know, talking to the cardiologist and, you know, the person that did all the surgery and all that stuff, man, you know, drinking, and, you know, affects that heart, man. And I'm like, I ain't trying to be on that table like that, man. I'm not trying to be on that gurney like that, man. No. So it was a wake-up call for me. But for the most part, it's just like I stopped drinking because my nervous system, you know, you look at, you know, what boxing does. You know, you attack your nervous system. I mean, we do things that we're not supposed to be doing. You know, you're not supposed to be running towards, you know, danger, you know. Police officers, firemen and stuff like that, like they get damaged. You know, you don't really realize that, but you do get damaged mentally. It damages you mentally, man. You know, and it changes your whole entire DNA. The way you look at life is completely different. Same thing for a fighter. You know, you think about it. If you're seeing death, being a fireman or a police officer, you're seeing death all the time, you become desensitized to it. So now your emotions become suppressed. You know, that's a natural thing. You know, you deal with that. When your fight or flight system, right? You have a fight or flight. Shit, when shit pop off, you're supposed to run, duck, hide, something. Nah, they have to go to it. So boxing, that's what we have to do. We got to go to the fire. So, you know, our DNA, it changes, man. You know, and it's not always for the good. So I'm not trying to affect that anymore. You know that alcohol affects your nervous system. Don't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. You know, so that's why I don't drink, you know, but I have, you know, so I've had my share of things that I've done, man. You know, I know I'm going off on a tangent again. I'm just speaking things. You know, you guys are asking for longer videos, so here it is. But, you know what? I'm in that 30-minute mark. I'll holler at you guys, man, later. All right, man. That's just some of my thoughts. Cool boy Steph, Foster. Eat that motherfucker. Eat him. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.